Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Clarissa. I am one of the founders of the networking group Success and Service, and we are the service-based entrepreneur group that put on this summit. So all of our presenters this week were from Success and Service. And so welcome to day 3 of our summit. We truly believe that success of your business relies on holistic well-being, and you are your business's foundation. So throughout our week, we've had different presenters, whether it is physical health, and today we're talking about self-compassion. Tomorrow we have financial and marketing health. And so we're addressing all aspects of health when it comes to entrepreneurs and their business. So I will be teaching hypnosis for self-compassion for 30 minutes, and then Maria will be teaching EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, after I go. And so by me teaching self-compassion, you care for you care for your business. And at the end, we will be raffling off sessions with me and Maria for our live attendees. So everybody, I am a clinical hypnotherapist and psychedelic integration coach. I love the healing art of working in non-ordinary states of consciousness. And I am passionate about helping others take what they learn in these states to create sustainable change in their day-to-day. So today I'm going to do an interactive workshop. It'll follow this outline. I'll explain hypnosis, how it opens up our hearts, and then we'll go through a group hypnosis together. And I am going to start presenting and screen sharing. And so hypnosis is a beautiful therapeutic tool. It is an effective way to help clients access a state of consciousness that is softer, patient, and non-judgmental, a place from the heart. So hypnosis can act as these gentle hands that can tenderly hold and support our hearts. And when we encase our experience with the lovely safety of hypnosis, how we can lead our lives from a more heart-centered place where it's just less critical, less offensive, and more compassionate.
Well, all these years you haven't changed.
So hypnosis works with the subconscious mind here, and it helps us create that sense of calm safety so that we can connect with the subconscious. So this iceberg is a metaphor for our mind, and the conscious mind is represented by what we see above the water. This is our thinking mind, and its functions are conscious, as in we are aware of its functions, and it's a logical part of ourselves. It also includes decisions, willpower, reasoning. These are active processes that you have some conscious awareness or control over. The subconscious, on the other hand, below the water, below our consciousness, includes our automatic thought patterns. So our behaviors, right? The way that we think, feelings that can just happen. So if my family member does something and my temper flares and I go into a shame spiral, a lot of times it's like it's just happening without me doing it. So our subconscious includes what's automated. And a lot of clients come to me to work on this. There's a pattern that they consciously know doesn't make any logical sense, and they're beating themselves up for it because they logically know that perhaps if I just behaved a different way, then my life would be so much more fulfilling. I'd be happier with myself, but for whatever reason, just can't seem to get themselves there. And that's because of subconscious processes. And so in the entrepreneurial sense, if we self-criticize for failing when we do want to be courageous and take risks and be okay with failure, but they're still doing it, like the self-criticism is keeping them from taking risks. This is something that I also help entrepreneurs with too, who are clients. And so we're here today to make a new pattern for ourselves where self-compassion can be the default rather than self-criticism. And when we go deeper, the subconscious also includes the matters of the heart, which is our focus today. And that includes matters like, what do we want? There doesn't need to be a logical reason for it. The heart wants just what it wants. Our body also is part of the subconscious. Sometimes there's just a physical feeling that helps you know just how you feel about something. And so that feeling of relaxing, when I came to where I live now, the Bay Area, I came to visit, and it's like my body could just relax, and it was sending me a message that I do belong here. And then there is spirit. So connecting to ourselves on a soul level and what's beyond. And these are all parts of ourselves that aren't consciously being controlled. And another way to think about this is that the conscious mind is judgmental, which isn't necessarily bad. It can be very important to have judgment, to have discernment, but that needle can sometimes be too far from the center sometimes. And that judgment, delineating good, bad, safe or not, right or wrong, when it's overemphasized, it can hurt us, and it can bring guilt and shame when we judge ourselves a little bit too harshly. And certainly the conscious and subconscious can make a great team. And in our society, we do tend to hyperfunction in the logical thinking mind. That's what's valued, that's what's taught. So our conscious logical mind tends to be very trained, and it's all about coming into more balance for growth and greater fulfillment by now fostering that relationship with the subconscious. And hypnosis helps us do just that by putting us into the softer, kinder, non-judgmental state of consciousness that is hypnosis, where we can explore what's in the subconscious. Let me just pause for a moment. I just want to let Maria know. Maria, I'm going to make you the host just so you can let people into the waiting room, so I don't have to do it while I'm presenting. Okay. Right. Okay. And oftentimes we see that the stronger your self-compassion, the stronger your courage, which is so important for entrepreneurs. The self-criticism can kind of block us from making moves towards our dreams. Most of the time, what we fear is ourselves and how we'll feel about ourselves if we fail, right? And so we sometimes, as humans, we do miss the mark, and it's okay. And it feels less risky, a lot safer to follow our own hearts when we know we'll have our own back through it all. So self-compassionate provides this environment in cases, this creates a supportive environment to give rise to courage. But when we can treat ourselves with more kindness and see that there really is no failure, only feedback, then we're able to just move forward with a lot more ease. Oh, some of these pictures didn't show up, but this is, there's a before and after here, but this is me in occupational therapy school. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my story, the road to compassion and the road to myself. And I was also living a life being very buff in the logical part of my brain for a very long time. It was a survival strategy. My parents came here as refugees, our family trying to figure out how to make life work in this new country. And so it was a lot of, look out there for what success means, for who I should be, work hard, keep your head down, take the straight and narrow path because it's safe and it'll guarantee survival. So a lot of shoulds, a lot of looking out there for the right answer. And so I was in traditional healthcare for a very long time. In college, I was pre-med, then I transferred into occupational therapy, like made that career switch because I wanted to be more holistic, but still very much within the bounds of traditional work in healthcare. And then I practiced as an OT for 7 years, had a steady paycheck, a lot of stability. And then one day I went to work with a hypnotherapist for my own anxieties and my self-esteem. And I found it just so effective that I felt inspired to change careers. And it was scary to take that leap into an unknown field, alternative. It's hypnotherapy. It's non-credible in traditional healthcare, but I believe in it. And I don't think I would have made that jump if I didn't have hypnotherapy to foster that self-compassion, that relationship with my heart, to follow my heart. And now I am happier. And I think I have a better hairdo now too. And so hypnosis, the finale of my talk today. And I will explain a little bit about what the experience will be like. But first, before we go into that, I just like to give you a few moments to think of an area in your life you'd like to give yourself more compassion. And then you can remember that. We're going to use it for our hypnosis later. And before we move forward into the hypnosis explanation, I just wanted to check to see if there are any questions. All right. So to explain hypnosis, you are awake and aware, but in a relaxed state. It's the same conscious state as meditation. So hypnosis is a type of meditation. So meditation breaks down, right? There's different forms of it. There's guided and non-guided. And so it's a type of guided meditation that is goal directed. So when we are in hypnosis, we are what we call hyper suggestible, so more receptive to suggestions. And we give ourselves positive suggestions when we're in the therapeutic environment, right? And so a suggestion might be like, there is no failure, only feedback. That's a suggestion. And in hypnosis, we're more willing to accept the suggestion as truth and change the way that we feel about failure. So it's geared towards a specific goal, a change that we want in our way of being. So hypnosis is very goal specific. Meditation might not be, all right. Like we might go into meditation for a variety of reasons, mental clearing, witnessing our thoughts, but specifically hypnosis, a type of meditation that is goal specific. So fun fact, hypnosis is a natural state, even more reason to just feel like it's something that you can slip into and out of naturally. It's simply the transition state between being awake and being asleep. And so everyone is hypnotizable because everyone goes through it minimum twice a day when you go to bed and when you wake up. And so not to worry about whether or not you're going to be the one person who isn't hypnotized today. And you can just follow my voice, and it's natural if you might be distracted here or there, but when you notice that, just gently bring your mind back to my voice. And so you will have a replay of the video. And just to explain how neural rewiring works, repetition creates associations, right? And so the more you replay the hypnosis to yourself, the stronger your connection to compassion becomes. In hypnosis, it'll be an interactive process. I will bring up imagery. You'll talk to it, it'll talk to you. There's some mutual communication going on there. And I'll leave some silence for this to happen, even though I'll be facilitating that communication. And for those of you that might not be able to see pictures in your mind, not everybody can, just think about how you experience memories, like through what sense, because some people are just more primed, like auditorily, kinesthetically. And so if you think of going to the beach, how does that come through to you? How does that memory come through to you if that memory isn't coming through via a vision? Right? And so you can still completely be successful going into hypnosis without visualizing. You just make sure to tune in to your senses, whatever senses are present for you at that time. Okay. And I am going to start the music and then start our hypnosis. Maria, do you think you can send host back to me?
Let me figure out how.
You just
Where?
click the three dots in my square, and then click. I think actually I can reclaim it.
Yeah, see
I just did.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did it.
I don't see
Okay.
anything. Oh my God.
Alrighty. Okay. So just a sound check, testing 1, 2, 3. Everyone can hear my voice over the music, okay? All right. let's go in and under. So I'm going to start with a few inductions. It's just simple exercises where you focus your eyes in a certain place, move your hands a certain way, and it brings you into the state of relaxation. So we're going to start with this induction. You're going to make the bunny ears, and then you're going to tap your fingers together 3 times for me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to focus your eyes on the tip of the 2 fingers and just notice how your fingers, without you helping or hindering, might want to come closer and closer together until they eventually do touch, as if there's a magnetic pull in between the 2 fingers, bringing them closer and closer together. Go ahead and rest your hands in your lap. And I'm going to have you put your right hand to your face, just like me. And then focus your eyes on the tip of the middle finger. Again, allow whatever happens to naturally happen. And just notice how your fingers might want to spread wider and wider apart. Farther and farther apart in the slow, jerky movements of the subconscious mind. Go ahead and rest that hand. Raise your other hand to your face. Focus your eyes on the tip of the middle finger and just again allow whatever happens to naturally happen. You place that hand in your lap. And so just to explain a few things, when I had you in this position do this, 1, 2, 3, I created familiarity with your fingers coming closer and closer together. And so they naturally wanted to do that because I already had you do that. So I primed your mind to do that, right? And then when I had you do this and wider, farther and farther apart, I gave you a direct suggestion. I said it, and then I snapped for the next hand, right? That's what we called an inferred suggestion. And so what you're seeing happening is a mind generalizing, right? And so what's cool about that is that in hypnosis, we can create this positive ripple effect where, clients want to come to me to be more compassionate towards others. Sometimes they want more patience towards others. But if you speak to yourself all day long in a self-critical voice, and that's who you speak with the most, essentially, and you can create that compassion within your self-talk. You know how that can generalize into the way that you talk to the people in your life. Maybe also you can start feeling more of that courage in your business, courage in your love life, right? So don't be surprised about the different ways that positive change can start to occur. And so let's begin today. We're just gonna focus our eyes on a certain point. I would avoid the screen somewhere above that. And so we're beginning today by fixing our eyes on that point. And for a few moments, just focusing your eyes in on that spot. And just noticing as your gaze rests softly, you're choosing where to focus your eyes. And very similarly, you get to choose where you focus your mind. So as you continue mindful focus, notice in the vision what blurs into your periphery and what clarifies. Just like in your mind, thoughts can fade into the background, perhaps the self-judgment, and maybe self-compassion becomes highlighted instead. This, you get to choose. I'm going to count you down 5 to 0. And on the count of 0, allowing eyes to close. But for now, letting your gaze just rest on the spot for a few moments. And we allow greater focus for our hypnosis today. And we're going to focus on our hearts. Let the rest fade away. And at 5, 4 as I count down to 0, going deeper into relaxation. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Eyes drifting closed now and drifting deeper into a deep peace today, deep sleep. And we're resting. Now with eyes closed, resting, we're going to begin as we enter into a state of deep relaxation. You can tell yourself you're doing this right. With entering hypnosis, you're always doing it right. And so with eyes just resting, notice how powerful we are. We can relax the muscles around the eyes totally, completely. Then relax them twice as much and twice as much. And the more relaxed you choose to make them, the heavier they might feel. And there is a color now that appears in our environment, a color that represents a feeling of compassion. That color coming right in through the forehead. We are welcoming it, and it welcomes being with us. And we can pull that color in. And letting the compassionate color come all around, nourishing you on the deepest of levels. For now, we can take it in versus giving it out. In our lives, there's so much of giving it out. We can take it in versus always giving it out. And so this color can fill up your heart, each and every cell, and all the spaces in between. And when I snap my fingers, it turns into a feeling of nourishment. Your heart feeling cared for. And how the heart settles is at ease. It's because it is tended to. And it is filling up. And so it can ever so softly, ever so gently open and spread its glow. This feeling of comfort, compassion grows, continues to spread through your shoulders, arms, fingers, of releasing, relaxing. Our fingers can metaphorically grasp onto what might not serve us. Perhaps tension, people, places, situations. We can let all that drain through our fingertips for now. We don't need to hold it in our body. And with that release, we can now fill up that space with compassion. Let the open heart spread. It fills us up through our stomach, hips, thighs, ankles, to the tips of our toes. And now the door to the imagination opens. And in this place of stillness and peace, calm, comfort, we find that our mind brought us to a place where there is solace and peace. The rest of the world, work, home, life, cannot touch us here. We are free in a place like this. Nothing else, no one needs your attention, nothing to respond to, kind of nice. Nothing but peace here. Take a moment to notice the details of this place. The color, smell, sounds, and just a moment to experience it through all your senses. We have this space, our personal place. An internal quieting happens here. There's nothing but understanding here. This place knows us well, knows what we've been through. And here we can finally spend time with ourselves, and our heart. It's time. And you let your heart know you are here to spend time with it, and we can just be. You with it with you. And you realize the heart wants you to know something. Communication doesn't have to be in words, it can be a feeling. But your heart wants you to bring something from here, whether it's words of wisdom or a feeling. It wants you to bring it back into your regular daily life. So when you're back in awake life, you have this to remember. So what does the heart tell you? Could be words or a feeling. And a moment of silence for it to let you know. And you take this in. Notice how it makes you feel. Anchoring that feeling in, keeping it with you. And in the imagination, anything can happen. And we're going to now have you float into a scene of what you wrote down or thought of from our exercise earlier, of a place where you can be more self-compassionate in your life. And how this takes place. The energy of kindness, understanding. Maybe this can also show up as courage, the subtle, soft strength. Notice how this warmth in your heart ripples out. How others might notice this change in you. Our hearts, what a gift. More than a gift. And now, going forward, letting go of expectations, rigidity, judgment, synchronizing more with our feelings. What lightens our heart brings us joy, compassion to our spirits. We get crystal clear on this compassionate image of you. So much value for what you want and who you are, just as you are. What a gift. And you show up as a gift. You are the gift. And in a moment, counting you up and out of hypnosis, 0 to 5, but even in your conscious outer awake life, leading from your compassionate heart. Starting with for ourselves. And we can thank our heart for coming to work with us today. And at 0, coming up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open and wide awake. Welcome back, everybody. Okay. So I just wanted to give a moment for any shares or questions.
That was amazing. Your voice is so incredibly soothing. That was lovely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like I relaxed so much I almost fell asleep.
Maybe that's what you needed.
Probably.
Yeah, if anyone feels comfortable, any like words of wisdom they got from their heart. And sometimes for me, it's like, oh, everything's gonna be okay, or you're enough, or maybe it's just a feeling.
I loved the part where you said you are the gift. That was so beautiful. So, and the rest was lovely too. Very relaxing and beautiful, beautiful. I was going to say meditation, but it's not the hypnosis, but thank you, Clarissa.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
All right, Maria. Then I will pass the baton to you, and I'll input into the chat my contact information too, if you want to connect further. I love to talk about hypnosis and answer questions. So, yeah. Okay.